Hello, everybody. It's Jenny here coming to you with my update on my hCG dirt. Why do I struggle with that? Do you know that I have a side job as a speech therapist? And yet I really struggle saying hCG journey. I don't know why. hCG journey. Maybe it's a sign of getting old. I don't know. Anyway, here I am on round 2, and I'm coming to you with an update on day 12, weigh-in of day 12 of actually being on the diet, not including load days. So, day 12, I got on the scale this morning. I honestly felt like it was going to be about the same. And I was scared that it might actually go up, and I'll explain why in a second. But I stepped on the scale. Okay, now that being said, I get up first thing in the morning, I put the drops under my tongue, I go to the bathroom, and then I go get on the scale. When I was stripping down, because I always want everything to be equal when I'm on the scale, and I'm taking off my clothes, I'm realizing, you know what? These jeans look a little better on me. Or not jeans, but pants that I was wearing, pajama pants that, anyway. The clothes I was wearing, the bottoms I was wearing seemed to be looking a little bit better. I didn't feel that much lighter than I did the day before, but I thought, you know what? I think I'm finally hitting the numbers where I'm starting to kind of look a little bit better. So I got on the scale, and wouldn't you know, I was down 1.7 pounds. So that was exciting. That was very exciting. 1.7 pounds. Yay! Anytime you have a -1, it's just blissful. But to be 1.7? So this is what we're going to talk about a little bit today. And then hopefully, if this doesn't go too long, I'm going to do some shout outs here at the very end. I'm prepared today. I don't want to run too long, so I'll put them off to tomorrow if I have to. And I also don't want to take away from the shout outs from what I'm going to say today. So maybe I will separate them because I really want to give proper attention to everybody who's doing well on this journey. All right. So I have my paperwork here. That's why I keep looking down. I apologize. So I'm down 1.7 pounds. Excited about that. Okay. Let's do some real talk here. All right. I had a bowel movement yesterday. Right after I did the videos, actually. Remember how I was saying, like, I just felt heavy. I felt kind of bloated. I just didn't feel right. And then realized, shoot, it's been about 4 or 5 days since I've had a bowel movement. Wouldn't you know, like, in less than an hour after that, I'm like, I gotta go. So that impacted the scale. Indeed, definitely. There's no way around admitting that. All right. Also, yesterday, Tom started lightening up a little bit. So I did take drops in the morning. I took drops again in the evening. So I went to 2 doses because he still exists. He's still here. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's, Dr. Simeon said, when it's heavy, don't use it because it's ineffective. But by being ineffective, does that mean you're just wasting your money by using it? Or is it contraindicated? Or does it cancel anything out? Or it's so loosey-goosey, and there's no clear-cut answers for it. So this is just kind of the way I'm doing it. Yesterday started to be a little bit lighter, so yesterday evening I took another dose. So that's what I'm doing. We'll see how it goes today. It feels like it's getting even lighter, or if I were getting hungry, of course I would take it. And I'm not getting hungry, but at the same time, you're also not hungry those 2 days that you're off P2 and you're just eating 500 calories and you are slowly getting the drops out of your system, at least the first day of that. So that being said, for about 2 days, I only had drops in the morning and not exhibiting hunger. So I guess it is true that your body is naturally producing hCG. So, okay, last night was the 3rd day, and I decided to do 2 doses of drops yesterday. I don't know. Maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not sure. Additionally, the day before I had gained a pound. I really didn't, I felt heavy in that, but like the scale said I was up a whole pound. And as I said before, there's no way that my body literally gained a pound within 24 hours. This is, your body kind of adjusting over what's been happening and different factors that are coming into play. So I didn't sweat it too much. I was obviously disappointed because who wants to see a plus anything on the scale? But I didn't sweat it too much because I knew that, yeah, things would happen. And of course, the bowel movement thing too. So that being said, because I'm not letting myself get too worked up and riled up when the scale says +1, I also cannot be overexcited and celebratory on the days that it says -1.7. Because really, let's face it, just as I did not gain a pound the day before, I did not lose 1.7 pounds within 24 hours either. Those numbers are just kind of balancing each other out. It kind of shows that for me, in my getting on the scale, I could have just more water gain and loss on any given day. I have a feeling that was probably part of it. I probably had a little bit more water retention, resulting in the gain of a pound. That kind of loss, along with the bowel movement loss, probably all came into play as part of why I had a 1.7 loss on the scale today. So I'm taking it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Now, I told you that I did eat a lot of bacon the day before. By hindsight, realizing how much I really was snacking on tiny little pieces and how much it probably added up together. And oh shoot, I meant to go add up the calories of what I ate yesterday. I started writing numbers down. Shoot, I wonder if I have those nearby here. You know what, and I didn't finish, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Where did I write it down? I have too many little slips of paper all around here. Oh, here we go. All right, so yeah. Well, okay. All right. I still have to do some more math and all that. I'm not going to do that while I'm recording this, so we're just going to guesstimate. Here's how my yesterday went, and this is why I was worried about getting on the scale today. I woke up not at all feeling hungry or extra thin or anything like that when I got on the scale, and but feeling okay. Also in the back of my mind, knowing I didn't do phenomenal yesterday at eating, and here's why. I told you I was going to my women's life group, that I was bringing a whole bunch of foods. I brought a bunch of foods that I don't really like. I had this big quinoa salad from Costco that people loved. Don't like any kind of pasta, which I'm glad I don't like any kind of pasta because apparently it's a major weakness for a lot of people when it comes to carbs. I mean, I don't like pasta before. I mean, I'd rather not eat food than eat pasta. I mean, really, ever since I was a child, my parents would take us to spaghetti dinners at the local churches and they would bring with them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a baggie for me. I did not want to eat the pasta. And I ate it at home. Of course, your parents would, that's a generation. Eat what's on your plate because kids are starving in Africa and they're starving in China. Those were the two countries that everyone was starving. And therefore, I needed to eat what was on my plate because they were starving. So I forced it down, but I never enjoyed it. I mean, I don't mean to be gross, but like pasta to me is just a slimy substance in my mouth, and in my brain it kind of reminds me of maggots. I must have seen like some gross thing on like the not Discovery, because there was no Discovery Channel when I was a kid, but probably on PBS there was some National Geographic thing. I think my father also had National Geographic magazine, so I probably saw some gross maggoty infested something at one point, and then went to eat pasta later that day and made the connection and could never break it. That's what I'm thinking, because that's the vision I have in my mind every time I have pasta in my mouth. It really doesn't have a flavor to it either, so I don't really understand the fascination with pasta. Like, I can't even understand it really, but I accept it that people love it. So I avoid pasta at all costs. If I go to a restaurant, pasta's part of it. I tell them to just leave it off or give me extra vegetable, or can you substitute a potato for it? Now, a potato, on the extreme end, I will eat potato anything, not sweet potatoes. That's a whole different. I mean, people who are like, eat sweet potatoes instead of potatoes are, better for you. That's like saying, I I don't like or eat fish instead of hamburger because it's better for you. Well, yeah, but they're two completely different things. Of course, I love all of those. I love every meat and every fish. But, I could understand if there are people who love to eat hamburger and they don't want to eat fish and they don't enjoy eating fish. That's how it is for me in terms of a sweet potato and a potato. Yeah, they're both in the vegetable family, if you will. Like, technically, I guess a potato is not in the vegetable family. It's supposed to be considered a carb, not a vegetable. But at any rate, in my world, it's considered a vegetable. I was raised being told it was a vegetable. And I love them. I love potatoes. I love twice baked potatoes. I like baked potatoes. I like French fries. I like um, hash browns. Oh, hash browns are good. I haven't had hash browns in months. You name it. Take a regular potato, cook it up any way you want, and I'll eat it. So, okay, I digress. I don't know what was I even talking about? I don't even know. Do you really care what foods I eat? There was a reason behind all of this. What was the reason behind all of this? I've completely lost my train of thought. I apologize. All right, so let's go back. Let's get back on track in terms of how yesterday went. So I tried to bring all this food. Oh, I was talking about the pasta. I brought I kept wanting to call it couscous because I know I don't like couscous either. It's quinoa. Maybe quinoa and couscous are similar. I don't know. I don't know much about the whole pasta world because I don't enjoy them. So I brought a big quinoa salad from Costco for everybody, and I brought little phyllo dough, spinach, and feta. And I don't like feta cheese either. I like almost all cheeses, but I don't like ricotta and I don't like feta and some of the other. I don't like cream cheese that much, although you mix it with some sweet stuff. Sometimes you don't even know or can't tell. I can eat cream cheese mixed in with some stuff, but if you just put cream cheese on like a bagel, I would never do that in a million years. So there's a lot of those kind of cheeses I'm not a big fan. Cottage cheese, never. I haven't had a thing that had cottage cheese in it that I enjoy. But I like regular cheeses like, a Havarti and a cheddar and a Gouda and a brie. I mean, yeah, your typical mozzarella, Colby, all those are great in my world. All right, so I bring these little things because I typically, although I mentioned yesterday, I enjoy spinach. Like in a salad, I don't like cook spinach typically. So I brought that with feta cheese. I baked some of those up and brought what else did I bring? I brought a bowl of grapes, and I brought a cheese. I brought a thing of shrimp and cocktail sauce, a little thing, and then I brought the cheese. If you go to Costco, they have like the sliced little squares of cheese that's easy to put onto crackers. So I bought crackers, and I bought the big thing of cheese. So it had like 4 different types of cheeses cut up into squares. I don't know what happened once I walked into Bible study and set everything up in that, but we were sitting down to eat, and I took one of the spinach feta things. I don't know. I took 2 shrimp, and shrimp is acceptable on this diet. I took a dab of cocktail sauce, literally just to dip the very tip in, but almost nothing ended up on it. But I just wanted a little hint of another flavor in there. So 2 shrimp, one of the little triangles, and then I took, I think, I want to say 3 or 4 pieces of cheese, maybe 2 pieces of cheese on my plate, and then went and sat down and ate it. I avoided the grapes, which in my brain is straight sugar. Oh, I brought a pumpkin pie and Ready Whip to put on it too. So I avoided the pumpkin pie. I avoided everything that looked like sugar in my mind, but didn't do so well. I didn't take any of the crackers, but I had some of the cheese. So I sat down and I ate it. Okay, our Bible study, women's fellowship group, whatever it is about 2.5 hours long. So yeah. What do I do an hour and a half later? Back up at the counter. I got 2 more shrimp. Plus I was eating a shrimp while I was making myself some hot tea. So I ate a total of 5 of the shrimp. I get myself another feta triangle. And 2 more pieces of cheese. I think in my brain, I was just looking at the spread and thinking, okay, avoid that. Don't have the grapes, too much sugar. Don't have the Ready Whip. Don't have the pie. Oh, this is just protein. Now, the feta has carbs in it, not the feta. The phyllo dough has carbs in it. I don't even know how much. I had taken them out of the original box and I put it in recycling, and we just had garbage day, so it fell to the bottom of the big recycling bin. So I didn't want to pull it back out again to look that up for you. But that was considered, yeah, not good, not good. But I'm going to one up myself because this is what I always do when I start to fall off the wagon. I start falling a little bit further off the wagon. So I get home, I'm bringing everything that's left over. I tried to like divvy out as much food to everybody as I could. Like, everyone take some home. Here's some plates. And lots of people took plates of stuff home. I had lots of food. There were only like 11 people there, so it was a lot of food that was left over. So people took plates home. It was great. But I had a little bit of everything. I think except for the grapes, because I still had grapes at home. I had the huge bag, and I dumped the bowl of them in it, and I gave it to one of the ladies who was taking some of the grapes because she said she liked those kind of grapes. I'm like, great, here, have this big gallon bag of grapes. Take them with you, because I knew we had more grapes at home, and I was afraid they would go bad before my son and my husband got around to eating them all, because I can't have them. All right. Other than that, everything else came home. Now I can avoid the Ready Whip pumpkin pie, although I would love to have a piece of pumpkin pie right now, but I can stay away from that. If that were an apple pie, I couldn't even tell you what would have happened yesterday. I mean, I wanted to eat that pie when I was at the women's group. I didn't, and I came home and I didn't. I probably would have had a slice of it at the women's group, and that's just honest. I'm just being honest with you. I probably would have. This is why I need to just stay away from this stuff. This is why no diet ever works for me, and why I end up putting it all back on. I just have a mindset, even after, here we go, 12 days. Okay, say 14 days, you've established a new pattern. 2 more days, we'll see. We'll see if I don't want a piece of apple pie in 2 more days. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a daily struggle for the rest of my life. I love and just praise these people who talk about changing their lifestyle and then that's just it and they don't crave it anymore. I don't think I will ever get there. I did this diet for about 30 days a month ago, took a month off, and now I'm back on it for another 12. And in a heartbeat, I would have a piece of Amish apple pie right now. I will say that there are some other sweets that I would break down and have that I could probably stay away from, especially knowing that I could eat some other, like if I weren't on this diet. I have no desire to eat some of the other sweets that I would go nuts with. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't have any desire. Like, if I think about a really good homemade apple pie with huge chunks of apple in it, I can almost get myself to craving it. So I don't want to talk about it anymore because that's where we stand. So I get home, I bring everything into the house, I'm separating it out, putting it in smaller containers, getting it in the refrigerator, and before I put everything away, I eat 2 of the crackers. Carbs! With who knows how many calories in them. And I don't just eat the cracker. I put 2 slices of cheese on each of the crackers, one of the Havarti, one of the cheddar, because I thought, how great would that taste together? I'll tell you how great it tastes together. Pretty effing amazing. It's so good. And then, you want to beat yourself up the rest of the day. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? So, yeah. All right. I don't have my salad. I didn't want to think about what protein I should make and all that. Every time I thought about it, I really have to cook up some proteins to put in the salad because I didn't have any pollock burgers cooked up and left, and there were none left at Costco. I just didn't have anything because I'm like, I'm not really hungry. I did find myself having a snack later. Okay, so now I'm done eating. Our group is done by 11:30 in the morning. It's really an early morning. We meet at like 9:30 to 11:30. So, ish 12. So I would say about 4.5 hours, 5 hours later, I had 3 of the meatballs as like a protein, um, to kind of get me over the whole hump of I really feel like I want something to eat. Then later on in the evening, about 7 is when I had the drops. 7:30. No, I think it was even later. I think it was after I taught my classes at night. So I kind of get like wound up again after I teach my class and awake. Um, so I my class from 8:30 to 9 p.m. my time, and then I had the drops after that. So that wasn't terribly great. Now, if I go and look, I, I guess the major disappointment for me is this was definitely over 500 calories. I added up the the crackers and the cheese came to about 340 calories. And of that, like 290 of it was the cheese. So surprisingly, even though we're not supposed to have carbs on this, the 2 crackers, I think were 80 calories. And of the rest 340, it was all the cheese that I ate. So boy, you have to really watch. Don't justify. I mean, you're not supposed to be having dairy on this diet anyway, right? Right? Do as I say, not as I do. This is not what you're supposed to be eating on this diet. Um, and the balls were probably 100 and I don't know, 160 calories, 150 calories, something like that. Yeah, maybe about 150, 160 calories. So I definitely went over 300, 500. I definitely went over 500 for the day. So it wasn't great. So all that being said, I mean, was it terrible? Did I eat a piece of pumpkin pie and then come home and, end up making a grilled cheese sandwich for myself or something? No, it wasn't that kind of epic fail, but it certainly wasn't a good day in terms of staying on the protocol. So I wake up this morning and what do I get? A minus 1.7 on the scale. That is why I say there's not always a direct correlation. Things happen over time. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll have like a really good day today. I'll get on the treadmill. I went on the treadmill yesterday, only for 45 minutes again, and that's only because my treadmill stopped. It's old, and every now and then I have to hold on the whole time because sometimes it just randomly stops. And it stopped at 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, I should be done. That sounds good. Um, so I just got off the scale at that point. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I want to stay on track today. I want to stay well. I'm 12 days in. 2 more days, I'm supposed to be breaking a habit. I mean, can you break a habit when you have a carb? I suppose. What is 2 crackers in the vast scheme of 2 weeks worth of eating? But um, I think partly the scale was reflective of the fact that I had the majority of my food in the morning yesterday. And then I didn't eat anything for the rest of the day until I had the 3 small meatballs around 4:30. And then I didn't have anything else to eat again until I got on the scale this morning at 5. I mean, I still didn't I didn't have anything else to eat. And then I got on the scale at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think that might come into play too, because I'm used to eating in the evening, and then there just it may come into play in terms of water retention or something like that. Who knows? So there you go. I say this to let you know that I am very cognizant and aware that as much as I am going to celebrate and be excited that my scale was set in minus 1.7, I am very much aware of the fact that I did not, within 24 hours of time, lose a pound or 1.7 pounds. Now, can you at the beginning of the diet lose that much? Yeah, based on things starting to work and also waste removal and that. It is a possibility at the very beginning. Some of that's going to be water loss, of course, too. But generally speaking, no. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. All right. All in all, however, the minus 1.7 did make me lose more weight than any of that I gained earlier on with that 1 pound gain. So that was the most exciting thing. And I am less than a pound away from hitting the 140s. If I can stay on this track, if I can continue to lose tomorrow, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Shout outs come tomorrow. I swear, they really will. They really will. Because I can't talk much more. This is like beating a dead horse. We can't talk too much more about the same topic. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck to you. Stay on track. Let me know how you're doing. Some of you are doing great, and I'm happy to hear that. Take care. Bye.